Good morning, class.
Good morning, Ms. Davis.
So today we're going to be working on our sizing and our placement of letters. So I want you to look at the words that I have on the paper for you to look
Okay.
at. So for our first one, we have our slant. See how they are all the same size? They all touch the top line and they all touch the baseline. Then we have our C's over here, which they all curve, and then they come down, they come back up, and then you retrace it back up to the middle line, and then they're going to curve back down to the baseline. Then we have our O's and our D's. Look at the transitions. Look at the O and the D. You can see that those are actually the same size. We're looking for the same size in our letters. And then, of course, we have the word God written out because we're looking for that same size with the O and the D and the curves. If you think about it, the C is half of the O. And then we go from O and we transition into the letter D. I'm looking for all those loops to be the same size and to have that oval shape to them. Louise, go ahead and read that first sentence for us, if you would, please.
Okay. In Exodus, God told the Israelites to put blood on their doorpost. Today, Todd is working on some woodworking, while Cody works on his model airplane. The toddler stood on the wooden stool to reach the sink.
Thank you for that excellent reading, Louise. I have a question. Do you remember why did God tell the Israelites to kill an animal and put the blood on the doorpost?
To mark them as Israeli so that the plague would pass over them.
So that the plague would pass over them. And today, would it be the same if I wanted to be pardoned from God's wrath for sin? Would it be the same if I was to just go kill an animal and put the blood on my doorpost?
No, because we have Christ now.
Yes, exactly. We have Christ now. And today, if we want to be saved from the wrath to come, we accept him as our Savior. So, the instructions at the top, Louise, what do the instructions say for that second section?
Copy these sentences 2 times, each on a notebook paper.
So you can just copy the first sentence, and I
Okay.
will pick it up after you and finish off that sheet of paper. I'm going to be looking, again, remember, I'm going to be looking for that sizing and the placement. So remember, your capital G is not going to be the same size as your little O or your little D. So you may begin.
Okay. I.
And if I see people doing their absolute best in this classroom, they will be able to come up and put their name on my poster of excellence. Of course, in your neatest penmanship, so that we can see how well you did on your paper as well. I love how your capital letters are bigger than your lowercase letters. Excuse me. Remember that the tail of our D comes up just a little bit higher.
And I went a little over the.
Yes, you
See,
did.
I'm here I'm good, but there and there I'm not good because I was
Yes.
struggling to remember how to do those 2 letters.
You did do the formation. Well, the formation that you use, correct? The formation of the I. You actually start on the tail. You go down. You come up, and you go like that. So.
And I started on.
You made that is the formation of an S.
An X
That's
or a J?
an S, a capital S. So,
Interesting.
but I mean, it looks like an I. So. But I like how it's bigger than your lowercase letters. The goal is that not all our letters would be the same size. So.
Let's see. That doesn't look right either.
It was better. Israelites. So your capital I, again, I think you started here.
Yeah, I did.
And you came around. So that is, you went backwards. So if you took your I, you would start it, I'll just do it up here. You would start it at this tail. Then you come up, make your loop, come back down to the baseline, and then you make your chain. So I think you tried to write it backwards and then cross over to the S.
I absolutely did. Yeah.
So just switch the order and you got it down.
Okay.
I like how when you retrace your letters, you don't have a whole bunch of loops. When you retrace back down on your I, there is no loop there, and your P, it's all one straight line. Just remember to open it up a little bit at the bottom for that loop at the bottom of the P.
Yeah, I don't do that, do I?
But your retracing is actually really good, because a lot of people have bubbles and loops through there. And you did remember that's your cursive P, your small p, that comes up higher than everything else. It doesn't come up to the top of the line, it comes up to that 3/4 line.
Okay.
So, but you remembered that, and that is something that I had to work on when I was in school, because I always forgot that the P went that tall.
Am I going to do it again, or?
I can do the rest of it. So, thank you, Louie, so much.
Oh,
and
okay.
I will write the rest of it. I was
Okay.
paying for it, so.
Yeah, you have to.
See, the thing is, I tilt my paper this way. So,
Right.
for a left-handed person, they would tilt it this way.
Right.
But you don't tilt it that way. You tilt it this way.
No, I do it this way.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe. Oh, right. I don't know why I thought you did it. Maybe it's because I was looking at it upside.
It's hard when you switch from left to right. The teacher is.
Yeah,
one,
because your teacher had you switch hands. Oh my, yes. I like I remembered all your punctuation. So you can see I'm doing it on just this line instead of
Yeah.
making it 2 lines. And you can see my eye, I have my little tail, I come up, but I don't quite touch the top. And that would be, this isn't wide rule paper because they didn't have any. This is just normal paper. If it was wide ruled, it would be a little easier to show you. But that 3/4 line is where this part stops. So you
It's
went
easier
over
to
and you
do
touch
it
the top. It's easier to do it big.
because I haven't done it in so long.
Yeah. Mhm.
And my shoulder hurts. And my hand hurts. And everything hurts. That's funny.
So actually, these would actually need to be taller because my 3/4 line is where my D ends.
Okay.
So these should actually touch the top. So talking about sizing, that would be something that I would, if I was grading papers, I would circle those, and then I would put
In
a
red.
smile, maybe in red. You don't always want to do it in red because if the parent takes it home and everything's in red, like all the wrong stuff is in red, you might want to like change the colors every now and then. But then
Right.
like I would put a good mark right here because this was a 3/4 line. So you're finding something. Yours is a little bigger than mine. I'm gonna try to find if this was okay. So this was your half line. This one right here. Your where were we? I saw one that was not your T's would be good because your T's are to read. Well, your T's are actually supposed to go above it.
The E is too small.
Yes, the E is way too small. So like this word in relation to this word.
Yeah.
Your T is almost the size of your capital I, but if this was your line and your 3/4 line was here, your T is actually the right height.
Right.
It just goes a little too
But
low,
the,
so it makes it look
yeah.
bigger.
And then the E is teeny tiny.
Yes.
I have a problem with O's.
See, because the E should be, see, that should actually be, the E should actually be the same. See, your E and your H are the same height, but this should be taller. This should go to the top. And so your T and your E should, the hump of your H is what your E would be at, and your E and your T would actually be, the cross of the T would be where the top of the E should be. So, told the I'm assuming you don't have to stay if you don't want to. So my S, I would probably mark that because that S is good, that S is not. S is too close together.
Yeah. It doesn't have a little loop in it.
Yes. 2. And that 2 would be the right height, but I should have flattened out my crossing. What I would mark as something good about myself is my O and my N, they're the same height. and the humps are the same size, and the tail is not
Right.
too long. I like how you crossed it out. Remember, all you need is like one line to cross it out.
I was upset that I did that. Put two.
That's why we have you do it in pen, so that you can cross it out and then you learn from your mistakes. So you see it the wrong way, you just cross it out. Otherwise, people would be erasing all day long. It's not perfect. Pen encourages them to do it their best the first time. Your R's are actually better than my R's. So your R, that is how you make it. You make it like a little curve that goes down. I actually always wrote my R's in school. Was never corrected with the little. I don't even know what that's called because it's not in cursive. But I always wrote my R's like that, and
I've
they're
seen that
actually supposed to
before.
be written flat and then
Right.
to curve down. So you actually have it done better than I did there. Today Todd is doing. So you can stay here as I write the other ones. You do not have to.
Yeah, okay.
So something I would mark. Something I would mark is that my T was not flat. But all my letters are pretty much the same size. My D doesn't quite touch the top. My T should be touching the top right here.
It's harder for me to even read your writing because my eyes are going bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everything else.
Well, normally we have wide rule paper, but
All right.
I could not find any. Maybe I'll go sneak out to the store.
That's college ruled.
This is college rule.
Yeah, right.
And
right,
for
right.
elementary, we have to do wide ruled, so it's just a little. Something you're never supposed to do is pick up your hand when you move it either. And that is also very hard to do. Woodworking, wow. I would mark the space in between the H, but then the I and the E are the same. And you can see, as you can see, like with mine, you can see how mine is more pointed this way
Right,
versus this way.
right.
And I used to write cursive, straight up and down. But it really helps, like, if you get stuck, if you've learned to tilt your paper and you're still writing upright, it's just because your hand has corrected to follow what it thinks is right. So if you tilt your paper even more, it helps your slant.
Yeah.
So something that I found that helps. Always tilting your paper.
A lot of left-handed people actually put the paper down the incorrect way. But my mother made sure that my teachers knew that I was left-handed, and it actually helped me when I was in the teeny tiny little desk that flipped up,
Yeah.
so that I actually was able to write without, having trouble with the size of the desk.
Yeah. They actually sell notebooks that go the other way now. And it actually helps people, especially kids with cursive, if they do it. Now, in elementary school, we don't have them do it in a notebook, but like in college, I had someone in their class, they had their paper. It was a penmanship theory class that we did. And the binder was on the other side so that they could still tilt their paper and have the correct formation. So your formation of all your letters are really good. What we would work on is the slant. And as you can see, a real penmanship lesson is way longer because when you have to write it all out twice, people use the best penmanship.
I was getting faster the longer we did it.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that you were faster. So, and you've gotten better all week, too.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have kids in class who go too fast and they make a lot of mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if that was you and you were ripping through it, but you were, like, making a few mistakes, I would probably say something along the lines of, I love your enthusiasm. I love how well you're doing, but let's just slow down. I see a lot of crossouts on your paper, so let's just slow down and make sure that we're getting the formation, that we're not making mistakes on our letters, so paying attention to what we're writing. Cody works on it.
So what grade is this?
This is 5th grade.
5th. Oh, okay. That makes sense.
At this point, most of them already know all the formations of the letters unless they've transferred in from public school. So why I focus on your shape and your slant is in the classroom is I want them to know they already know the formation, so we're not focusing on what order do you do the letter in anymore. It's look, these are the same size. See how on the chalkboard my D was floating a little bit, but all the other letters touched the baseline. We don't want a letter to be left floating. Something that you do really well for the most part is most of your letters always touch. Mm-hmm. A lot of your letters tend to go below, but like Israelites, that's great. All of those, they all touch the bottom. This one's floating a little bit.
And the D is floating.
But in blood, the D is way up there. That would actually be like the not the 3/4 line, but that would be probably the half line.
Yeah, I have problems with O's.
It depends because your sizing on your paper is different than my sizing. But this would be the actual sizing of what you write, and I know that there's no way you could make it that small.
No.
Which is fine. So, airplane. The toddler stood on a wooden stool to reach this.
I've done that.
So, like, if someone wrote really fast, they would probably have worse mistakes. Like, that goes below. So you'd circle it and say, hey, just make sure you're going slow. That's not good. You're a proper T format, more flat, and it would still touch the baseline. We have a lot of O's and D's because we're working on that same sizing, the G, the K. We're working on that circular motion, the airplane, the A, on keeping those, because all of those are very similar in size and shape. Don't worry, we are almost done. You technically don't even have to be here for this part.
Well, that's a good pen to do this because we don't have any of the little skips that normal pens have, you know.
Yeah, it is a nice pen. It flows really well. I don't know that it'd be wise to give this to an elementary student because they tend to take all of their pens apart. One more.
Okay.
And then so like something I'll be looking for is all the D's and the L's, they all reach the 3/4 line. You can see with a pen that bleeds this much, that actually makes those letters look really, really small.
Right.
But it's also college ruled. But the T is a little taller than the D. And this line to cross the T should actually be down here with the O, the top of the D, the top of the D, the top of the E, the top of the R. That line should actually be down there. So the T is almost the right size. However, I would say make sure you're crossing your T's in the right spot. But your slant is good. Work on your spacing a little bit, but the spacing between the words is good. And then if someone was doing really, really, really well, like let's say they had great writing. I've seen some kids, they have amazing writing, and they are doing really well. I would say, you know what? I would hold up their paper. I would say, this is amazing. And then I would be like, take it, go up to the excellence board and put your name up in your best cursive to show the class. I actually did that for my last teaching day. My board of excellence. The kids loved it. I put Mrs. McQueen at the top as the best because she was the teacher of the class. So. And I called them models of excellence. So But I actually drew a sheet of paper on the board and like made it all fancy.
Oh, cool.
So if most people are finishing up, see what we didn't do is we didn't do the circles and the C's and the E's.
Right.
And they have you write a line of each. So most
Wow.
people would actually still be a little farther behind at this point. But then at the end of penmanship class, like after it had been the full time to do it, at the end of penmanship class we'd say, all right, thank you. What we would say to them as a class if they were cleaning up because they have a subject that comes next, we would just say, all right, penmanship is over, prepare for science.